Okay, so today we're going to be starting with a bare face because when it comes to a grungy makeup look, I just feel like I want to be able to have as much space to be able to play around and blend and do everything I need to do without worry about messing up some other element of my face. So, blank slate, and we are also going to be putting some white on our lids so that the colors are going to pop just a little bit more. I know people like to put concealer and what have you on their lid. My only thing about that is I feel like people put way too much so that it's just like this thick layer of shellac, and it's harder for your pigments to grip onto that. Like, you have to put more pigment down to kind of absorb all of that liquid and to make sure that it stays put. So if you do decide to go the route of using a concealer, just make sure that you aren't using too much. You know, a layer like this, it's very sheer, but it's still just enough to kind of make sure that that white is down, is going to be just enough. You don't need to use lots and lots of product to get an effective look. This look right now. So I'm going to be going into the Fatally Yours palette from Melt Cosmetics. It's the Bailey Sarian collab. And seriously, please feel free to use whatever makeup you have at home and just adapt this look for what you already have. I'm a big advocate for that because, you know, it's so easy to just think you need to run out and get the latest and greatest thing, and then you just end up with piles of a lot of palettes have similar colors, you know, or colors that work better for you, or colors you like more. There's just no reason for us to be consuming and buying so much product for it to sit and expire. So please just feel free to use what you have. But if you happen to have this palette, I'm going to go in with Phosogene, I believe it's called, which is maybe like a mossy green color. And I'm going to put that on my lid. And this color is just so beautiful to me. So beautiful. I think actually I was gonna do it with my finger, but I think it's mixing with my oils a little bit in a weird way. So we're gonna actually just go in with a brush and see if that helps create a more consistent color. And you don't have to be precise, just kind of, we're just putting this color down right now, and it's all going to get blended and it's all going to be better. Just, you do want to make sure that it is there though, you know, not a thin layer of color, a nice bold color. Because when I think of a grungy look, I think of picking two features and emphasizing them, two or more features and emphasizing them. I think that when we do makeup regularly, you know, there's those rules are meant to be broken. But there's those rules there that are like, you know, pick one feature and you can emphasize or highlight that one feature. But when I think of a grunge look, I think of some people choose to go a bold lip and a no brow look. You know, some people choose to go a bold eye and a bold lip. That's what I'm going to be doing. Some people choose to go bold eye and, you know, a strong blush color. I will say one thing about this Melt Cosmetics palette, even though this isn't necessarily a review, it is very, very dusty. There's a lot of fallout. It does make me grateful that I have decided to do my eyes first before anything else, but even just in my palette, there's just so much pigment I see. Just something to note. And I do, okay. So my hand mirror, this one is from Glam Gloss Beauty. Oh my God, it has an eyelash on it. That's really kind of embarrassing. But I do use a hand mirror even when I'm just like doing my makeup and I'm not filming. But like, I'll bring it up so I can just kind of see what my lids look like as you would see them. But I bring them down so I have all of this space. So if you're somebody who has maybe smaller lid space than I do, I would suggest maybe getting a hand mirror and then just putting it below your nose and maybe doing eyeshadow that way. So then you can just see how much space you have. But you're going to see me in this video kind of moving this bad boy around so I can do my eye look properly. So now that we have that green down, we are going to grab a angled brush. I did forget to wash my makeup brushes before I did this, so we are working with my whatever brushes I don't regularly use. That's what we're using today. All right, well, in my case, I'm not going to be using an angled brush, but I am going to go and in my crease go in with the shade Mercury, still from the Fatally Yours palette, and I'm going to put that in my crease to kind of deepen the area up. And if you have a hard time picking out where your crease is, you want to make sure that you're kind of eye level with your mirror and kind of find the hollow of your eye socket and put your color in there. And once you kind of recognize, or once it's kind of in there enough, then you can bring your mirror down and go in to blend. And it might be easier to blend with a fluffier brush, but I actually quite like blending out with a denser brush first and just moving that pigment out first, and then grabbing my fluffier brush and then blending the area that I had just moved out. And that way I can make sure that I'm actually still keeping pigment in that crease area, because, you know, when you have darker skin or brown skin, sometimes pigment can just get lost in our coloring. And so I want to preserve as much pigment as possible when I'm doing my eye looks. Ooh, I'm looking at my monitor right now and it's looking kind of vampy, kind of dark, kind of where we're going. Now I did just decide that I want a little bit more to pop on my lid. So I'm going to go into, I have this BH Cosmetics palette. It is quite old. It's the Aurora Lights palette. Basically, I'm going to grab a shimmery green shade. And because I really, really want this color to pop, I'm going to take a brush and spray it with a bit of setting spray. Kind of get it nice and wet. Go into my shimmery green, and I'm going to pop that right in this middle area. And the way I picked this green is I want this green to be a little bit lighter than the shade of my eye, so to almost create a halo eye effect. And if you want to know truly where to pop this shade, you want to almost pop it where your eye would sit in the middle. I don't know if that makes sense. So like where your eye is, the iris, you want to pop your halo shade kind of right in that area. And then, because I want to make sure that this is nice and deep and that pop really pops, I'm going to go back in with Mercury, which is my crease shade, and I'm going to put that in this area and just deepen it out. Deepen it up, I mean. All right. We're going to go back to eyes, but I need to do the rest of my face real quick. So I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we got our brows on and I'm going to now prime my face with the little squeeze of primer I have left. And then for this look, I'm going to go in with, I need to go dampen my beauty blender. I'm going to go in with my Pretty Fresh concealer from ColourPop in the shade Medium Dark 148N. I have learned more recently that when I first got colored matched, I think I was in college, and I was fully convinced that I was orange. You couldn't tell me otherwise, that my shade was orange, and I am very warm toned. I was also matched by a white woman, so that should tell you everything. And I've recently learned that I am actually more neutral leaning cool. Now a journey of trying to find foundation that is neutral leaning cool. Almost even an olive tone can work on me. It's been a journey, but this is one of those foundations that has worked for me if you are a fellow cool-toned girly as well. And I will clean off my piercing at some point, but honestly, while I'm doing my face, it's just not really worth it. It's gonna keep getting dirty and dirty. So just give me a second. All my piercing jewelry will be clean. It will be sparkly soon. Great, great, great. Got that down. And now I will be going in with my Sharp Tape. What is it? Not Sharp Tape. My Shape Tape concealer. I'll be taking that and just going over my hyperpigmentation that exists on the lower half of my face and neck. And this is in the shade 53N Deep. And because I want more coverage here, I actually just go in with a brush instead of a sponge. Because a lot of people don't realize, but your sponge does soak up some of your product. So it's really great for a foundation because you're not going to be able to get that like super shellac look, or you might be able to, but your product's going to have to be super thick and not very absorbent. But if you want to get more coverage, it's actually better for you to go in with a brush. And I'm satisfied with that. Is it fully covered? No, but I'm okay with this look. This is fine with me. So next, we are going to put our concealer underneath our eyes because I like to let my concealer sit for a minute. So this is kind of the best time for me to do that. And the reason why I like to let it sit for a second is because it kind of thickens that up. And because it's thick, it makes it have a little bit more coverage. And so now I'm going to let that sit for a second and get nice and thick. So now we're just going to blend that all in. And because like I mentioned before, I like as much coverage as possible, I'm using a brush instead of my beauty blender. I keep saying beauty blender, but it's technically like what? The Real Techniques sponge. And for contour, I actually just got the Fenty Beauty contour stick in. This is going to be my first time using it. I got the shade Truffle, which is 4. We shall see. Should I? Yeah, we're going to go in with a brush because I don't really know what to expect of this. It's good. You can see it. I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but in real life you can see it. It also at the same time feels very subtle, which I guess I'm not really used to. Yeah, I'm feeling the vision. I mean, I need to powder it still, but it's there, right? Right? We're seeing this, right? It looks pretty good. I'm going to go in with my Fit Me powder in 230 Natural Buff. Yeah, Natural Buff. And we're going to do that underneath my eyes to kind of set my concealer. I just want to make sure that any creases I have are smoothed out first. And this will look jarring at first, but trust me, believe in the process. And I'm not even really baking. I just put that much down just to kind of make sure that it is absorbing any of the oil, any of the excess oil from my wet products. And I'm going to take this brush and kind of smooth everything out and move any excess powder around so that it can cling to my other wet spots. Sounds gross, but that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take, I have the Fit Me powder also in 35 Deep, and this is the loose powder. And I'm going to take that on a denser brush, and that's going to go on my face to set my foundation and kind of blend everything together to make sure that there's no distinct line between my highlight shade and the rest of my face. And anywhere else that I see that's kind of still a bit glowier than I want it to be, I'll also just kind of pop this powder in that area. Great. Now I'm going to just, for my own mental health, okay, I have to put just a little bit of powder on over the contoured parts of my cheeks because I do just really like a defined cheek. I just do. And this is from the Glam Goth palette. This palette is amazing. Like, as far as eyeshadow palettes go, it is an eyeshadow palette, but I really don't use it much as an eyeshadow palette, but I use it a lot, so much as a face palette. That is my favorite way to use this palette. It does work beautifully as an eyeshadow palette. I just use it mostly for my face. Okay, so for funsies, we're going to go back into our eyes, and I'm going to go back into the Fatally Yours palette, and underneath my eye, I'm going to go in with the color Sarian. with, this brush looks like it'll work, like a nice little shading brush. You want something kind of tight and kind of small. We're going to go underneath the eyes. So we're going to tilt our heads down, and we're going to put this purpley shade in here. And the reason why I'm starting close to the eye, I'll probably blow it out, but I want to start close to my eye to have more control over the product, but also because I don't want to go too far down. You know, you can't really erase, especially a shade like purple. It's not that easy to do so, but you can add more. So even though I started quite close and tight to my eye, I am just dragging it down. I never added more product to my brush. I'm just dragging this product on down my eye and kind of smoking it out. Not even kind of, I am smoking it out. And there I just added a little bit more product and keeping it very, very close to the eye because that's where we want the most product. I just realized this is so Beetlejuice coated. Oh my God. We're doing a Beetlejuice inspired eye on accident. Is anybody going to see that movie? Are you guys excited to see that movie? Does anybody care about that movie that's watching me? I'll be honest, I'm not a super big, I'm not really a movie person anyway, but I remember the movie Beetlejuice. I just don't really have like an attachment. I think a lot of people have attachments to like their subcultures, and I just don't really have attachments like that to like, you know, the spooky subculture, the goth subculture. I just don't really have attachments that closely to it. So I think I would catch the movie, but I'm not like, you know, running, screaming, growing up to see this movie. I'm sure it'll be cute. You know, I love that Jenny Ortega is the new spooky girl for the youngsters. I love that. I think she's a great person for that. And she seems like she has some interesting stories and interesting things to add on set. So I'm sure it'll do the original justice. I just, you know, like I said, I'm also not screaming, crying, throwing up. Okay. So now that that's done, I'm going to go back in with our original fluffy brush, and I'm going to make sure that this is all blended out, and if need be, add some more pigment to the eye, because obviously when we were doing our face, we started cleaning up lines a little bit more and things became very crisp. And with a grungy eye, you don't want crisp. That's like that's like the antithesis of a grungy look. You want something that's kind of more blown out and grungy, you know? I'm just realizing how chaotic it sounds like. For me to be describing, I need more of these. These are all named after poisons. This whole palette is like named after poisons or something like that. And it sounds insane for me to be like, I need to add more mercury here. A little deranged, but it's fine. It's all fine. It's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to line both my top and bottom. I'm going to line both my top and bottom lashes with black eyeliner. And this line doesn't have to be amazing, okay? I should also mention that I really, really think it's a good idea to do this with a kohl liner pencil. And the reason for that is, like you'll see in the next step, we're actually going to be blending this eyeliner out, and kohl pencil tends to just move a lot more easily. You don't want something that's like budge proof. That's for sure. All right, so now we're going to take some black, and this palette is called Lead, and we're just going to move this eyeliner around and also push it up to kind of create a smudgy, ooh, got some powder in my eye. A smudgy line. Like I said, it doesn't have to be too perfect. I'm going to pop lashes on as well, and that's going to kind of honestly hide some of my mistakes. You do just want to, you just don't want this to be a straight, perfect line. Okay. I will say what this palette does not have is a highlight color for the brow, and I want something strong. I want something bold. I want something, I'm going to pick white. And that is going to go right on our brow bone. And yeah, that's going to look a little stark and crazy, but once again, trust the process. And then we're going to take our fluffy brush from before and blend our brown up into that white to kind of get rid of, you notice I'm bringing my mirror back down so I have enough room to play, because it's too hard to play this way, but we can color and play and move color around a lot more easily if we could see all the space we have to move in. All right, so now we're gonna do mascara, obviously black. Was there any other color option here? We're gonna clearly choose black, but you know what would also be cool if you did like a colored lash, like a white lash or something. That would also be pretty cool. And I'm going to pop on my lashes at the very, very end. But now we're going to do our lip, which I'm going to do a brown, right? Yeah, a brown lip. I think I'm actually going to do Country Club by Volux Vanity, which means I'm going to line my lips in brown. Now my lip is lined, I'm going to go in with, wait, hold on. You need to see this packaging actually. Look how cute that is. Okay, sorry. But we're going to use this color Country Club and pop that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was exactly what I wanted. Okay, and then for blush, because I'm still going to do a little bit of blush, I'm going to use this NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte in Red Riot. And then I'm going to deepen my beauty mark. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off my piercings real quick, pop on some lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we got our lashes on, I did my hair, and this is the final look. I really hope that you all got something out of this. I also hope that, you know, even if you were just like watching it, maybe during your lunch break or something, I helped you pass the time. I'm pretty happy with how this look came out, and I really kind of love my little hairdo that I got. I just like took a claw clipped some of my hair up, and then bobby pinned it into my face, and it's just a look. I really like it. Until next time, I really hope that you have a great day and that you're taking care of yourself and giving yourself all that little love, and bye.